right. And we're live. Welcome to paraglidingtalk.com. I'm your host, Robert Michaels. Glad that you're here. I'm excited about tonight's guest. Let me fix all these little trinkets here, all kinds of noisemakers happening around here. Yes, now we're good. Ryan Southwell is with us tonight. Cue the cheering. We've got also, we have in moderation, we've got Craig Taylor's with us. Oh, yeah, Craig Taylor's with us. We've got Sean Nafsker. He's going to be moderating. Also, Nick Vasakis, he's moderating as well. And also Anthony Para, the Gringo. Yep, just south of the border. So they'll be handling moderation. If you're just chiming in, if you're just logging in, your name's being written down and you're going into the spinny wheel of winning things. About the half-hour mark, we're going to give stuff away, as we always do. Glad that you're here. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, you should. If you haven't done it yet because you're not sure, then you probably shouldn't, because don't set such high expectations. We're literally, I'm about 20 feet away from a garage. So I'm in my bedroom, literally doing this show. But there are some good things that are happening. So stay tuned. If you haven't checked out the website, paraglidingtalk.com is the website. Go check out some of the past episodes. We've had some really fun shows and learned an incredible amount of information that will help you to be a better pilot. And this show is brought to you by sponsors. Those sponsors include PPG Smoke, Ryan Roberts. He's created all kinds of stuff for flying. Go check out his website at ppgsmoke.com. Unity headset announcement. It looks like they're going to be here on Friday. They're supposed to clear customs on Friday. So that means that we're going to see them at the Salton Sea flying. How many going to the Salton Sea flying? Huh? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, I'm going too. I'm really excited about that. So that's exciting. Yeah, another sponsor, ParamotorProps.com. If you blow up a prop, you want to get a new one, you can get one really fast. And I blew one up. You know, it's funny. I blew one up. We were at the desert. I didn't have a backup. Really sad. Didn't get to fly. Botched my launch. Game over.
Drive. 2-hour drive there.
It was a 2-hour drive. It was bad. And we, well, anyways,
sound effects.
I got on my phone. I ordered one really fast. And within hours, he had me a confirmation that it was already shipped. And then I had it. So I that was on Saturday. I had it at my front door on Monday. Sorry, we're just testing out my sound effect machine over here. I don't know if I can handle it. There's like another thing that I have to do. Also, the show is brought to you by Paramotor Products. Paramotor Products, if you didn't know, they're actually going to shift gears and do some other stuff. They're going to retire, and probably they're just going to probably fly now and enjoy life. So they are closing. I know that they have 75% off of everything, all of their stock. So if you reach out to them,
what you can talk about is the money.
You can save some money, and it will be helpful to your flying gear to have protection. So this will probably be the last sponsor announcement to our first sponsor, Paramotor. Sad to see them go, but really appreciate them being a sponsor of the show for so long. Also, one last sponsor I want to mention, American Allied Drains and Plumbing. If you're in the San Diego area and you are in need of plumbing, American Allied Drains and Plumbing is your company. If you mention Paragliding Talk, you will get a 10% discount on your services. Their phone number is 844-777-9055. So really appreciate, Ryan. Glad that you could make it onto the show. Such a huge deal to me because I've seen your, I'll call it art over the years since I first started flying, and just incredible footage. You have an eye for photography and videography. And everything that it seems like everything that you put out is very high quality, and I could tell that you take your time. And so it's not every day. You can see a paramotor pilots with a GoPro on their helmet, dime a dozen. There's a bajillion. Everybody who buys a paramotor, it's like you get a free YouTube channel, but not many are like yours. And I'm really stoked that you came on. So thanks for taking the time to come on.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
Yeah, I didn't know until literally just a few minutes ago that you're a neighbor. And so I'm stoked about maybe we can fly together at some point and go and send it. Did you know that, Gringo? You were nodding your head. You knew that he lived here.
For a couple of years now. Gotta do your research.
How dare you?
Why didn't you tell me?
You didn't ask.
Gosh, man, just selfish. He was camped right next to us like 2 years ago.
I told you, yeah.
Whatever. So anyways, Ryan, I want to pick your brain a little bit. First, if you can just let everybody know how you got into the sport and take us through, like, how did it all begin before you even got in the air? What was it? Like mine was, I saw a video on YouTube and I was like, dang, I want to do that. How did it start with you? And talk about your progression.
It's not that far of a different of a story. It's pretty much the same thing. I'm in the industry of filming things anyway. So I was curious as to how to get some aerial shots of things without a drone, because drones weren't really in the scene yet. So this was about 10 years ago. So yeah, I found this video on YouTube, and it was of my buddy Byron, who had flown on top of a mesa at Monument Valley and camped out, and did this whole little thing. And I thought that's the quintessential whatever of adventure and everything. I thought I'd love to do that. And the whole flying thing has always been like, I've always wanted to. I love things related to that kind of a thing. So I said, let's do it. I found the guys to get training, went out to Oregon, trained for a week, and then the rest is history.
Talk a little bit about that. How did that go down? Were you nervous? Were you anxious? Did you investigate thoroughly your trainers and who they were and background check them?
Kind of. I didn't know, for better or worse. All I knew was that I wasn't going to take instruction from a certain person. And these guys, it was Shane and Byron, the guys who started Team Fly Halo.
Nice.
So I kind of knew, but didn't know, but it was their very first training ever. And so I was their first student in the class of like 6 or 7 of us. And it was a lot of fun. I felt like I got great instruction from those guys, and nervous. My wife sure was, but
yeah.
But yeah, no, I took off. I made a big old, it was an opportunity. So I left a few days early. I went and saw the full solar eclipse that was up in like Northern California at that time in the year. And then I just kind of cruised through Oregon, enjoyed it, and then started my training. And it went well. I got kiting was good for, a good 3-4 days, whatever it was. And I was the first one to solo in the class. And I felt, pretty good. No major damage done.
You didn't break anything?
I may have. So they moved me up to a smaller wing, and I was flying on something big at training, and so I got down. I borrowed Byron's smaller one, his Evo, his Gin, and I think I clipped a line on one of my landings. But other than that, no physical damage.
That's good. Yeah, because I always get worried about the training gear. I always think, like, I'm thinking in the future, what if I had a school or something like that? How would that go down? And I think like Kyle O'Glee, he's always got some kind of broken props in his background, guys blowing up gear. So that's cool. Talk a little bit about how you evolved your flying so that you could bring your probably $2,000 camera with you to go in more 2,500
more. Yeah, definitely more. I think that's an evolution of a story. So as you mentioned before, the GoPro look is one thing, and a lot of people do it, and that's great, but it wasn't something I thought was attractive in trying to make something look more, filmic. So I knew that I had to get a bigger camera. I had to get real lenses on them so that everything wasn't just super like I can film everything in the same shot. You know, you got to get into some more, longer lenses to make anything look more filmic anyway. So in order to do that and then still get stable shots, I had to come up with a way to carry all that gear. It was, I thought I was pretty smart coming up with all my new ideas, but looking back, it was a mess. I built this, it looked like a tandem bar that kind of came out in front and connected in the front like a bit gigantic U shape. And hanging from that, I had a full-on 2-hand gimbal hanging from that, and my camera mounted to that. And so it was,
oh my gosh.
Wild. Yeah, that was back in the day. And I came up with it for a good reason though, because back when I was doing the toll road, like we're on that trip and we're filming stuff, I had one that I would take up, a small camera I would take up and film with my hands. So I get to a point, my buddy was doing a sat out in front of me, and so I'm like, oh cool, I'm going to film this. So I'm filming, and of course you're slowly drifting, as you go up. I must have been leaning or something, and it got to the point where I thought, oh crap, this is getting too close. And so the top of the wing came super close to me on his sat as he spun around. I thought, okay, that's it. Safety first, fly first. I'm never going to shoot any video without my hands operational at all times. Fly first, film second. So that's why I came up with this ridiculous rig. And then eventually it's evolved to where it's a lot more smaller and portable and manageable.
Crazy Uncle Bob donated $5 to the super chat. Thank you, Crazy Uncle Bob. He said, greeting fellow deplorable infidel flying squirrels. Thank you, Uncle Bob. Thank you for delivering our packages, by the way. I appreciate that.
Hey, real quick to the guys, everybody watching, Ryan mentioned the toll road. Definitely go search it, go look for it on, whether it be YouTube or Facebook or whatever. It's a fantastic piece there. So that'll get you started on his work.
Wait, what? I see, once again, I haven't seen this.
Go see it.
The classic.
How dare you?
It's all right. I'll find stuff on my own. I don't need cool stuff.
I do like the thumbnail that you put in for today's thing. That image is one of my most favorite clips of all time.
Is it? Okay, good.
Yeah.
That was my favorite of all of your stuff that I just scanned through real quick.
Yeah, it's that location is just incredible. It's one of those you can never find it again, probably. But the fact that you have the stream, you have these trees, and amongst all these red rock cliff formations was unreal.
And that's Utah?
He can't tell us.
Southern, somewhere on the border of Utah, Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah, east of Lake Powell.
Oh yeah, I like Lake Powell. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good spot to go fly. I haven't seen a whole lot of people fly Powell.
A lot of people recently have gone out there to fly it. They kind of doing the horseshoe bend thing, and then bits of Powell. But there are other areas further east of that are, just waiting to be explored. Beautiful place.
You gotta have outs though, right?
It's relative what you call an out.
If it's just water cut through earth and there's no shoreline, then it's you're in trouble.
Yeah. A 10-foot of sandbank here and there, a little bit of a flat spot on a cliff. All these things to me are like outs. So, to each their own level of what they're willing to put on the line in order to experience something or see something.
Hey, Will Fly donated $6.25 to the super chat. Said Resurgence PPG rocks. Thank you. Appreciate your contribution to the super chat. I'm telling you, it's a whole nother dimension with sound effects.
Here pretty soon you're going to hear from Hot Buttered Steve. I have a feeling.
Oh no, you won't hear from him. You know why? Because he is driving. He's getting close. He's probably right there in Temecula right now.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
I'm happy for him then. Awesome.
Yeah, he's coming to Salton Sea flying. Yes.
Sweet.
You're not coming, are you, Sean?
No, I'm not going
Right.
to be able to make it this year.
That's fine.
Hey, I'm sorry I went all that way, man, just to see you, Robert.
I know, but I mean,
Man,
we have
we've
Salton
worked
Sea
together
every
for
year.
years. We worked together for years, man. It was an honor and a privilege.
I want to let you know ahead of time, Ryan, that Todd Scandrett's in the chat, and he's likely going to troll you. I'm just
Guy.
I'm just saying.
He wants the second half of this interview in Japanese.
We can do that. Anybody else want to join in?
Yeah, he said you speak Japanese.
That's what I got.
Konnichiwa.
これから日本語で喋りしましょう。ね。
I see. I've had foreign exchange students live in my house from Japan, and I learned one thing. I had a chance, and I was too busy. It was like paragliding, running. It's just, yeah. So how did you learn Japanese, by the way? I know it's kind of off topic, but.
No, I went on a church mission to Japan. So I lived there for 2 years when I was younger. So like 19 to 21. And then I came home and I continued studies in Japanese and got my bachelor's degree in Japanese.
Oh, wow. So I assume that you go back every once in a while. And
I had been back quite a few times. Yeah. Not so much in the last couple of years. No, but anxious to get back for sure.
That's awesome. And are they acceptant over there? Missionaries?
It's a challenge,
Yeah.
Countries typically aren't like Christian based and stuff like that. So that's, it was definitely a challenge, but a good experience, enough of good moments to make, of course, everything worth it. So it was enjoyable. And, you gain a lot of life skills when you're that age. You learn how to basically grow up and be, independent and learn life skills to where you can, succeed. So
Yeah.
big picture is all good.
Japan's gnarly. Like that's a tall order. If I was thinking where you're going to go and that's a boot camp for life. I'm pretty sure that's pretty cool.
It is, but great place. In fact,
yeah,
bring it back to flying. I kind of feel like they're not represented anywhere in the flying realm. Like I have never seen anybody on Facebook, on YouTube, anything from Japan coming out of there. So I don't know. Are they just kind of keeping to themselves? Are there pilots over there? Like I've seen one or two things, but I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking about doing a whole episode of something in Japanese to try to bring them out.
Yeah.
Maybe I will.
I wonder if I feel like there's a
kamikaze. So
wrong country.
Sorry. What?
No, it's the right country.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Too soon?
Once again.
Yeah, it's too soon.
Did my homework.
The whole idea of free flying in different places around the world, it's for me, it's like this. I got this kind of in the back. Like I really do want to be able to fly in places like that. Go to Japan and that there be a free flying spot there.
Yeah.
So and because it's not convenient always to bring your motor, you can do it. So maybe we'll talk a little bit about that because you've done some trips where you've brought your motor on an airplane, right?
No,
you haven't.
I've never had to fly with it on a plane.
So all of your flying has been wherever you could drive.
No, it's been through where I've had access to people with the motors.
Okay, got it.
Primarily Scout Paramotor. So Miro does a lot of trips all over the place, and so I get hookups with him, supplying the gear. So I just bring my wing and show up and go fly. So, but generally it's in the States. Yeah, anything on the west half of the United States, I've driven around to fly. A lot more to explore, but outside the country, I guess is primarily Iceland and Slovakia. I know there's more, but I don't know. I'm drawing a full blank right now. But yeah,
that's pretty cool.
I love
Iceland.
I love flying out of the country.
That footage that I saw from Iceland was incredible. And, I obviously you must have seen when Tucker went there, and you probably connected with those same guys.
Yeah, we were on the same trip.
Oh, you were with him on that trip.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. That makes sense now. See, I'm just slow to the game.
Yeah.
So,
The shots are actually him. You can see him flying around. So
okay.
I've been there twice with him.
Was that the big gimbal rack on the front of your, would you use it on that one?
Not that trip. No, I had, actually had I the first one, maybe the second one was my new setup that I have, a smaller kit, but yeah.
I guess we should ask next is what are you doing now that's different so you don't have to carry all that stuff?
So Scout makes these adventure bags that are kind of like saddle bags that ride on the side of your swing arms. And so they're pretty sizable. So even when I go fly camping and stuff, I can fit all tent, sleeping bag, everything in there. So I have my gimbal and my camera and my monitor and all that stuff in the bags now. So once I'm
monitor,
I have a 7-inch monitor that I have to view as I fly with, because the back of the screen of the camera is just not.
Oh, okay.
When you're trying to see exposure and if you're in focus and all these things, it's way easier to have a monitor display. So yeah, it's an arduous task to do this stuff. So when people say, "Hey, can you film this?" Like, it's not that easy. Like it's kind of a pain to get it all out and do it. But so now I'm kind of like, I'm putting it back. I want to enjoy more flying and not try to go film everything that I do. But if I know it's going to be something particularly epic, then yeah, I'll pack the gear. We'll do something out of it.
I literally hesitate to pull my phone out, and you're flying around thousands of dollars worth of camera equipment. Yeah.
No, I launch, I fly up, get up really high. I clear my space, and then I commence assembly. It takes me about 5 minutes, maybe at most, to get all set up, plugged in. And I got spare battery blocks. I got to plug everything in, because when you're flying and it's cold, like, your camera batteries don't last.
Oh, right.
And so when you're trying to change a battery in flight, forget about it. It's just too hard.
Yeah.
So I have my camera plugged in through a DC power line. So,
whoops, not mean to hit that, but somebody donated $10 to super chat. So PPG Doc 200 t-shirt is great. Congratulations, Mad Sloper. I believe he's referring to winning the shirt. 200 episodes. Paraglidingtalk.com. So Ryan, you were recently on the Paramotor Podcast.
Yeah.
With Anthony Vella.
Yeah.
How was that dealing with Anthony?
Great. It was fine. Some people say, I don't know, you can get excitable or whatever. I don't know, but he's a cool dude. Had a good time.
He is. Yeah, he's out of control. He is. No, we love Anthony. Actually, did he come hang out with you when he was in California? Did he reach out to you?
No.
Okay, good. That makes two of us. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah. No, but I got a brother who lives out by him, and my next time out to New Mexico, I'll be probably stopping by and doing some flying with them. So,
oh, that's cool.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, he did invite us over there, and we haven't made time yet. We have to. We will eventually. It's one of those things, man. Anthony Vella.
I had the pleasure of meeting Anthony Vella, and he was a really cool dude. He actually took me to this Mexican restaurant. We ate burritos, and it was delicious. I mean, it was awesome. I was like, yeah.
In New Mexico.
It's got the word Mexico in the name.
El Paso.
Well, El Paso, yeah, but it was nice. I don't know. It was delicious, very filling.
You don't have very much Mexican food in
it's not Ohio. Like in Ohio. You got Taco Bell. Woo,
that's ground beef. They don't even put real meat in there. It's ground beef.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, this
was soy.
Was awesome. The cheese sauce or whatever they used in the burrito was delicious. I was like, this is great. But yeah, he was an awesome guy, really down to earth. He was passionate. He's passionate about flying.
JP Tooler said, I think it's the word you're looking for is eccentric. we should prank call him if this show goes down the hole bad. Just prank call him. So let's talk a little bit about, and I know, by the way, I want you to know that we had a National Geographic photographer on this show, George Steinmetz,
Yes.
who uses a paramotor to take his. So I encourage you to go watch that episode. I think you're one of few people that can appreciate that episode.
I've met George, but he probably won't remember having met me.
Yeah, he's a baller.
Yeah, he's crazy. Some of the places he's flown in Africa, but he was around at the beginning of the Icarus race, the first one.
Kidding.
And so I teamed up. I did a buddy system with me and Byron on that first Icarus, and he wanted to capture a lot of footage and images from that. So he's getting us all hooked up with his camera gear and stuff, and kind of delayed Byron's launch and everything, kind of put us behind a bit. But anyway,
talk about that. What happened?
It just was when you're doing the Icarus, especially in the first one when nobody knew really what they were doing, we had all this gear and you're weighted down. You've got 12 liters plus an extra 6 or whatever on your lap, the full bag of survival, everything on you. And you're heavy. And the last thing you want to do is stand around waiting for someone to try to hook up a wing cam or a
dangle dongle
cam or something like that. So I got him tingled up a couple of times. So I'm spinning around there waiting, and Byron's like, "I'm stuck. Hold on, something went wrong." Like George is getting hooked up, but anyway, I saw him on that new Will Smith show on Amazon Prime. I don't know what it is, but
no kidding,
it's super cool. Yeah, he and Will Smith were trucking around Africa, and he's showing them all kinds of stuff. It was awesome. So it was fun to see him in that. Yeah, it's a new show called Welcome to Earth or something like that.
No kidding. I'm gonna have to check that out. That's cool. Yeah, George came on the show. I don't even know. I'm surprised he responded to my email. I sent him an email. I was like, "Hey, we have the show about paragliding, blah blah blah. And be interested." He responded right away, and he's like, "Sure, I'll come on."
Sweet.
What?
Yeah.
He's crazy.
He's next level.
We were sharing some pictures of his from National Geographic, and then right after the show, I get dinged on YouTube for sharing copyrighted content, and then I challenged it, and right away, I don't know how it went down, but I think he was involved. In the next day, it was clear. Kind of crazy, but yeah. Anyways, super cool. By the way, Hot Buttered Steve donated $10 to Super Chat. He said, "Just pulled into Salton. See you soon. I'll have $10 and a few words for you. Then we'll part ways forever and cherish the memory of that stolen moment." I'm not sure what that means, but I'm excited about that.
Wow, he's there early.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people heading over there. I think Kyle O'Glee's on his way there right now. He's driving on the road.
Trying to avoid the crowd. We've got half the parking lot and twice the pilots.
Yeah,
half the parking.
I know it's going to be.
Oh, there's so much space out there.
That's a segue into the next topic, but
yes, it is.
We got a wheel to do.
We got a spinny wheel of winning things.
Yes, we do.
Spin the wheel.
All right. Well, I'm
gonna have a winner.
I'm done taking names.
No more names.
No more names. And I know that YouTube is a little bit delayed, so we got to give them a minute. So I'm going to give them a second here. And
we've never done that
pretty
before.
Much got everybody.
That is kindness
I know.
On a whole new level from Sean.
I need to stop that, don't I? Ugh. Okay. All right. Here we go. So.
Yep. So, by the way, this show is brought to you by Nebraska PPG. And if you know Josh Bowden, he has a school there in Nebraska, and it's a pretty good school. And now it's time to sign up. If you're in that area and you want to get some good training, he is the guy to get signed up with. Man, a lot of people
Ready?
tonight. A lot of people in the
I
chat
know.
tonight. Wow.
I know. It was a nightmare. It was starting off. It was like, boom. I was like, oh boy, YouTube's lagging.
Wow.
You ready?
Yep. Spin it to win it, folks.
Here we go.
Yeah. So also, this show is brought to you by Calamity Kite Clinic. If you want to learn how to ground handle better, you could sign up to get some ground handling training. Isn't that right, Sean? So Sean runs that. And if you want to sign up, you can go to CalamityKiteClinic.com. Also, the show is brought to you by iFly Indiana powered paragliding. If you're interested in flying paramotors, no better place to get proper training than iFlyIndiana.com. Kevin and his team will get your feet off the ground. That's iFlyIndiana.com.
That was easy.
The suspense.
Oh man, it's going to be right close to Slow Days and Paul Elwood. Oh
yeah.
man,
Oh,
it's going to be right on the line.
Ooh.
The suspense.
Paul Elwood.
Great job. Congratulations, Paul Elwood. You are the winner, chicken dinner. You win a paraglidingtalk.com 200 episode shirt. And you're going to want one for the fly-in. Paul's a neighbor, by the way, champion of sorts. Paul, if you want to pick up your winnings, you can just come right to the house, or I can even ship it to you. Don't matter. I'm lazy like that. Yeah, by the way, Craig, thanks for sending those over. I did some investigative research studies and found out that you were the one that purchased those shirts. Yeah, says the guy that's in probation in his cell.
I know nothing of them.
Yeah. I'm going to be giving those away at the Salton Sea Flying as long as everything goes good and I can make it out there. It's going to be fantastic. Salton Sea Flying. Yeah. I really like the idea of being able to fly this time. Last time I was breaking in my motor the whole time. And then by the time I could,
man, I kept going around. I was like, I'm going to catch this from the air. So that way people can actually believe Robert is taking off with his motor. Like
to my defense, here's what had to happen in order for me to launch. I had to keep it alive. Yeah. It would just before I'd pull the glide, get the wing over my head and put the wing down, start it. So it needed to be adjusted. Yeah. So Ryan, let's I want to talk a little bit about your there's some news happening with the Salton Sea Flying. Let's talk a little bit about it. Gringo mentioned it. We talked a little bit about it at the end of last Wednesday or Thursday night's show. Do you have any inside information about the hay bales? What are they doing with that?
Yeah. So the other guys from Team Flahela who are there right now, I've been watching the whole thing go in. And the reality is, well, of course, don't touch them. Don't even go in them. Don't go around them. Just stay away from them is the basic principle. And that would probably do well for us in the future if everybody were to at least, live by that. However, in the video that I helped put out, there was a comment about, use the access roads that are by them. There's been some confusion on that, just to clear up. So the people that are there now, even the locals on their ATVs, whatever, just cruising around, they're driving through the access roads right in front of the other people, no problem. And they're not saying anything about it. So I think I don't want to say, hey, everybody, let's drive our cars, whatever, down that road. Might be a little much, but I think the more that we stay away from them, the better. I made some jokes about it early on, and apparently it went, they didn't seem to like it. So
I thought I'm sorry. I thought it was eloquently written. It was perfect. So
look at that thing. So it's almost all done, huh?
Yeah. Everything on the north side, they said is complete. So they're not going to expand any further from that point.
Oh, thank God.
They're spending some money.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're wetting the roads.
So no, if you look at, so you see how the hay bales are in waves?
Yeah.
there's passage between those, and that was kind of the question at hand is is that part okay to go through? Apparently others are using it and they're not saying anything about it, but I think for our own consideration, we should probably all just stay out of that whole mess and not make it an issue.
Do we know anything about what this is about?
Yeah, so it's supposed to cut down on the wind and the dust blowing through there. It cuts down on the dust that blows into the residences and the campsite and stuff. But primarily what it does is it creates a wind shadow that will hopefully allow for future growth of plants in the area, like some iodine plant and some other things that by the time they decompose, they'll have already taken root and should be able to grow. So
Not kidding.
that's, I think, the end game.
Yeah, but
Rehabilitation.
why 3 weeks, 4 weeks before one of the biggest events, for one? The other thing is, obviously they had no thought into what we were going to do. And I mean, most of us you're going to see a lot of the campers here where I parked, and I think Ryan, you parked last year or the year before, was around here.
Right.
The problem is the wind comes from over here and goes right across. So when you take off, you're going kind of west to east, I guess. It'll shift course, but that's a killer right there, man.
Yeah, it is. I think because it keeps getting bigger every year, we're going to have to just move north. I think that's probably the best answer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's kind of nice to be close to the campground where the official LZ is, I guess.
Only because the bar restaurant is like over here to the left, and that's nice and convenient, no doubt.
But I think we kind of have no choice now. We're just gonna have to start creating a new base camp a little further north through that wash right there in that brown zone.
Yeah, I agree. I think south is a little too polluted, I would say. It seems it's
toxic.
It was really toxic and marshish, there's a berm right here. It's hard to see it down at the bottom. I wouldn't camp out too much here. It's probably the old waterway into some sort of lagoon.
Yeah,
I think you're right. Going north is probably your best bet.
So go ahead.
I did hear in the news out here in Ohio that they were talking about the Salton Sea and how they had plans to mine lithium underground because of the salinity and the temperature or whatever of the layer of dirt. It's like prime time for lithium batteries for electric vehicles and things. I know there was talk about something dealing with lithium and working with lithium and plants out there. So it might be something as an experiment for that even.
They can talk about is the money.
There's literally the largest deposit of lithium in the country at Salton Sea.
Yeah.
And you can buy a lot for $3,000. And it's waterfront property.
You gotta mine it though.
See those signs when you're driving up? I'm like, that's it's almost worth it just to have a piece of land that you can launch from.
So most people don't know that in the 1950s, that was the retreat. It was a very clean lake. They advertised water skiing and resorts and all that, and it made a nice haven for people who live in Palm Springs, which is just 30 minutes north or whatever. But it got contaminated from agriculture and chemicals and pesticides and other, lack of water replenishment. So, but
it's like the Dead Sea, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of.
Same salt content, pretty much.
I wouldn't want to float
it. Seemed like it. I mean, I walked on the beach, like right up against the water, and was like, "Wow, it's like crunchy." It's like, oh, okay. Well, that would be like the Dead Sea if I could imagine it.
Auburn color too, so that can't be good.
Those were fish bones you're walking on.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that too.
That's legit.
Great 80s band, by the way.
Yeah. And it wasn't too long ago. I remember it used to smell a whole lot more, and they were actual fish that you could see washed up. But I'm willing to bet that all the fish are now officially gone and that they've already decomposed. So I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like the smell has actually gone down a little bit.
Yeah, same.
So
In 4 years.
that's nice. It's not too bad, but trying to get out there is still mucky,
Wouldn't want to go in that water.
Oh no. I was talking with Chris Santa Croce on some of the talking points to try to create that safety video that I put out. And one of the things that he brought up was it would be probably good if somebody around had a kayak or something at least on hand, or like something like a floaty ring that you could scoop up with your foot. If you're flying, and you can drop it to someone if they were to go in the water. So, but yeah,
it's not a bad idea.
Yeah. It's a good point. Although you would probably float really well, you'd probably come out with a disease. But I mean, I don't know if you've ever, like, for those who've been there, you've probably seen people who've been in their, ATVs, whatever, try to drive out close to the water's edge and get stuck. I mean, that is muck, like mega deep muck. And I had a buddy go down near the water once, and he was a complete mud mess, and he had to throw everything away basically. But you can't, I don't even know how you can get to the water in some of those places. You just sink. So that would be interesting how to save somebody out of that mess.
Yeah, that would not be good. Probably need to bring some rope. Someone should have some rope.
Actually, rope that you can scoop up, drop to the person, and then pull them in from land is probably probably the best idea. That's a good one. Someone bring rope.
Someone make sure you bring some rope. Matt Minyard's in the chat. What's up, Matt? Glad you made it. Paul Markham, what up, buddy? That's cool. Always like when Paul Markham's in the chat. So we've got some. I'm excited to go and do some flying and head into the mountains. I wanted to ask you a little bit about what you're using for a camera setup for your vlogging and for your videography.
Yeah. Well, I currently use a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K.
Blackmagic Cinema Camera 6K.
Yeah.
Okay. Never heard of that. Is that a Sony product?
No, it's made by Blackmagic.
Okay.
That's another film company. They make a lot of really good gear. I have a red, but I don't really want to take that up in the air. Now
I'm very layman. I'm very simple on camera stuff. Is that like a baller camera?
Red cameras are what, like, Lord of the Rings was shot on.
No kidding. You have that?
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's right down.
That's
it's
next level.
Hey, everybody, by the way, that is not a background screen in Ryan's. That's actually his office. That's soundproof office there. So he doesn't let his wife hear him scream at customers and complaints and so forth. So
yeah. No, I mean, I wanted to have a good studio so that if I'm recording music, whatever, it's tonally set up properly. So, and it's nice to have the nice, quiet, dampened sound too. But yeah, no, the big cameras, not my favorite thing to take up in the air if they're super heavy. And this other one, the Blackmagic camera, is awesome. So yeah, I shoot all in 6K now.
60?
No,
6K, 60 frame.
60, 48 frames, because it's an even. So movies are so all right. GoPros, standard TV, a lot of things are shot 29.976 frames per second or 30 frames per second. And that's kind of a typical thing. If you go to the movies, films are shot at 24 frames per second or 23.976. So that's one distinctive difference between why films look like films and TV looks like TV. So it's frame rate, and 24 frames per second is the go-to for that. So you double the speed of 24 frames, you get 48. So if I film something in 48 frames per second, then I could easily
slow it down.
I can make it smooth by multiple of 0.5, or I can double the speed and make it look normal speed time. So that's handy. And my last trip to Iceland last summer was that next film was all shot in 6K. It'll be delivered in 4K, but it's I love the imagery out of that one. It looks awesome. Can't wait to finish it.
Got $10 was donated to the super chat by Matt Cowan. He said, "Want to see Ryan teach Robert how to do the subscribe dance."
No, who's saying that?
Matt Cowan.
Matt. Matt Cowan has history with me when we did some fly camping up in Montana. He was the other bumblebee.
Nice.
Yellow and black glider guy. So
I did see that part of the video where you guys are doing some big wing overs down.
Yeah, well, actually, there were 3 of us there. Since I was filming on mine, those were the other 2 guys that were flying with the yellow ones.
Right.
But yeah, they so Matt, good guy. So he was willing to go fly camping with me up in the mountains with the bears and all. So it was that morning we woke up and I had to do a subscribe dance to get people to try to subscribe to my channel, but I think it got me 4. So whatever. I had to make up a new dance every time to see if I can get someone to catch on.
You did a para camping at Glamis, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. One of my favorites.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I'm debating on doing it at Salton Sea this year, next week, whatever. So that might be an option. If anybody wants to bring their gear, we can go out, fly out for a night and do something fun.
Sounds cool.
That is super cool.
You did another para camping. I think maybe was it in the mountains, in the woods?
Yeah, the ones I have documented. There's the Glamis one. There's a Salton Sea one. There's Montana up in the mountains there. That was the woods. That was kind of woodsy, I guess. And then Idaho sand dunes again over there with some buddies. I think what else there was. There's a snow one we did in the snow. That was fun.
Oh, that scares me. Just freezing. Like I'm already nervous about how cold it's going to be at Salton Sea.
Yeah. No, I was those were some good adventurous days. I need to probably get back and do some of those flying again. But no, we brought a bunch of gear and built snow caves and slept in them and stayed.
Oh, that's cool.
Pretty warm in that. Like the crazy part of that story was when you're trying to take off on skis in powder, deep, crunchy, old snow on a semi-frozen lake with high winds, it doesn't work very well. It just doesn't. So Shane was telling me, he's like, dude, I don't know about this. I'm like, dude, we just got to get up in the air and we can just coast down the canyon and get out of here. I brought my wing up and it's like this, and your skis are pointed this way. And you're like, and so correcting it, you can't change your direction. And I'm like, I got this. I'm like, no, I don't. I'm going in bad. And I ate it sideways, just right into the snow. And I got stuck. It literally took me 20 minutes to get unbuckled and out of my setup. And we're like, we're done. We're not flying out of here. So we were like 12 miles up the mountain, up at like a little over 10,000 feet. And yeah, we're like, what are we gonna do? So we ditched our wings, our camping gear, and just took our skis and our motors on our back. And we skied through the trees down to a snowmobile trail and then motored our way on skis down that snowmobile trail for like 11 miles. And it was the worst thing ever.
Oh no.
So painful on your thigh. Seriously, people think like, oh, that'd be totally fun. It's hard. Not kidding. Like your thighs are burning. And I was in pretty good shape too. So that's,
oh my gosh.
That's not mentioning your knees. Your knees would be feeling the impact too.
Right.
Yeah, I'll pass on that. That's brutal.
But it's adventure. You never know what you're going to get.
That is gnarly. 10,000 feet too. You got some weird dynamics going on with the weight, the thin air and
no, it was a blessing in disguise. Had I gotten actually off the ground and up in the air, I would have ended up in Wyoming. No joke. Like it was howling.
Oh, no, you guys were trying to launch.
Yeah. We flew up there, and camped out. It was the next morning. We got up early and it was like sunrise. Like, okay, let's try to launch and get out, and fly back, and that didn't work. So
was it already windy when you guys were like waking up, or did it start to ramp up as soon as you got your gear out?
No, it was pretty windy, but I was just like I can do this, you know.
Send it.
Yeah. I've had to learn my lesson over time as to say, okay, no, not today. But when you're up there, you really have no choice. I mean, what are you going to do? It's like, I've got maybe enough food to get through half a day.
Yeah. And probably not enough water, and
it's cold.
and it's freezing. Well, I guess you could have melted some snow. What, talk a little bit about, and that's a, interesting topic. I usually like to ask people is, talk about a time that you were completely out of control, and, or a time that you were scared, beyond belief. And what did you learn from that flying experience?
I got think of a couple. The first one I think I ever had that freaked me out bad was hitting some major rotor at Monument Valley in southern Utah. There used to be a flying and gathering there back when it was, I guess, okay-ish to fly. So, I mean, those things come out of the ground thousands of feet, and you get in the, you know, on the lee side of that, and then you start getting tossed all around. And I remember a few people have had stories where they've actually taken full collapses and then barely made it out. But that was my first experience, just getting tossed around, where it's like, this is my introduction to active piloting. So you were
a new pilot at that point?
Generally, yeah, probably only flying for 2 years. Yeah, under, I don't remember exactly, but it was a while ago. Another one was actually in Iceland. I think it was my first Iceland trip, and I was actually following Tucker going up this canyon, and they're big canyons, and you're following the river. You can feel the cool air, and you know that the end is a glacier. And we were approaching that, and there's like this, it's like a bowl arena at the end. You're flying up, like, well, I'm definitely gonna have to turn around here. And I remember turning left, like pulling to turn, and like it just felt like a wet rag. Like,
oh no,
like nothing's happening because there's all this cold air coming down. And I thought, if like it's starting to take control now, and you can't really do much to counter it. So I'm just like praying, like, oh, please turn, because there's no out. There's just sides of rocky cliffs and snow, glacier, melt, waterfall rushing, and it's just like, oh,
that's game over.
Yeah. So but yeah, that's
and were you filming that?
At that moment I was not. No. I don't remember what was going on, but yeah, no, that was oh no, I know why I wasn't filming that time, because that was the trip when I got my layover flight on the way to Iceland got canceled. I was stuck at Newark Airport. They rerouted me to go through Toronto, but they couldn't do it for like another day and a half. So I arrived late at the place. I get to Iceland and they lost my luggage. So I had no wing, I had no clothes, I had nothing. Half of my gear was not there. So Miro picked me up. I went to go buy some bare necessities to get through stuff, and borrowed literally a flight suit. I borrowed a wing. I borrowed a helmet, everything. So yeah, that's why I wasn't filming. Didn't have
nightmare. Did you get your stuff back?
About 4 days into the trip.
That's good.
After all the good flights were over.
Yeah. No, that's fine. At least you got your stuff back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gnarly. That's a terrifying thought. I flew just a couple times with my free flight gear, which is just a big bag, and just putting it in the hands of the people. I'm like, please, please don't lose this.
Most people, when they travel, they say, make your wing your carry on bag, which I would do, but the problem is I have camera gear as well.
Yep.
So it's like I can't do both. So
yep.
Traveling with paramotor gear is one thing, and your helmet too. I think I may have just taken my helmet next time on my head. Like, I'll wear it through on the flight, because it takes up space. You try to.
Listen. Nobody would look at you funny. You'd have a mask on. You'd have your helmet. Leaving California, it'd be like, yep.
Yeah.
I could just see that too. You'd be hitting your head on stuff like dunk, dunk, dunk. Oh, it's
filming,
right.
GoPro, red flashing.
Yeah.
No one would mess with you. It'd be great.
That'd be awesome.
So I'm really fascinated with this the red camera that you talked about. Can you elaborate just a little bit? I know that doesn't have much to do with flying, but I'm fascinated by that.
Sure. So my real job in life is I go film commercials for luxury and hotels.
I had a feeling.
And so I travel a lot. So I need a professional camera for that purpose, and that's primarily what I use nowadays. It's just basically a high-end 8K camera with insane amount of dynamic range, and it does everything on a very high professional level. The quality is fantastic.
And how big is it? Gigantic?
Well, I mean,
giant tripod?
It starts out, I mean, it's called the brain. So there's the block, the main computer system of it, which is, hold on a second. I've got it right here.
I'm super fascinated by this. I've
right.
over the years been really intrigued by.
So this is what they call the brain of it.
Okay.
So I mean, it's a significant chunk of weight. I mean, it's not a light tool, but so on top you get your monitor. Your monitor mounts on top. You have your big, V mount battery in the back, right back here. And so in the end, and your top handle. So in the end, it's kind of a heavy beast. But I mean, yeah, you can take it out with other things if you're attaching a wireless signal to send to a remote monitor.
Okay. And
yeah, that's the beast.
I've got you spotlighted so you can keep it up if you want to.
My arm's getting tired.
Yeah, it's a workout. So have you brought that up into, and you don't have to hold it, I was just messing with you. Have you brought that up into the air with the paramotor? I mean, that's pretty much impossible, right?
This one, I wouldn't. I might consider doing it if I was the front passenger on a tandem.
Tandem, okay.
But quite honestly, unless I know I need to absolutely do something for somebody paying a lot of money.
Yeah.
There's no need to take this up.
Not worth it.
Yeah, like my other Blackmagic camera, which is much smaller and it's much lighter. And the 6K, I mean, what I'm really sacrificing is dynamic range. And what that basically means is your spectrum of your range of light to darkness. Cheap cameras have a very limited range. So the whites, like the sun, anything bright light will be super blown out white, and the darks will look super black. And that's just cheap quality looking footage. The red cameras have a super broad range, so you can have the full spectrum of lighting involved. I mean, it's geek talk, but yeah, no, the only sacrifice of shooting on a different camera is just that for the most part. And I like my Blackmagic camera. It's gets the job done, and I love the look, and it's lightweight, so perfect for flying and filming.
And what do you have a little strap, something around your neck, or you said you keep it in a pouch? How do you tether?
It tethers to my leg, actually. Okay. So I think I already let the cat out of the bag. I try to keep this hush for as long as I could, but I guess too many people know about it now anyway. Yeah, so I have a knee mount the contraption that I've rigged up so I can actually put a gimbal into my leg with the camera on it, and then I can control the camera's direction, so I can fly straight and have the camera pointing back at an angle or something, and get alternate angles with that. So I'm able to fly hands-free.
Wow.
I don't need a touch. The monitor, I actually fly with the headphones came out. I actually fly with the monitor attached to my chest strap right here. I buckled up. When I'm in flight, I unbuckle it and it falls down on my lap. That way I can see. And so it's kind of up like right about here as I'm flying. So I can fly and just look and be able to, I have ways to control my gimbal. So yeah.
That is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. I want to mention a couple of sponsors. The show is brought to you by Lone Star Paramotor. If you're in the Lone Star state of Texas, you can reach out to Ron Turan and his team for world-class training. Also, you can go to the website, lonestarparamotor.com. Also, the show is brought to you by Torrey Pines Glider Port. If you want to learn how to free fly in the most beautiful place in the United States, you can reach out to Max Marion or any one of the guys at Torrey Pines Glider Port. Amazing stuff going on there. Flytorrey.com is the website. FLYTORREY.com. Craig Taylor, take it away.
As soon as I get off of the mute,
Yeah.
Resurgence PPG is a 501c3 nonprofit for veterans by veterans. Please do what you can to support those guys. Every little bit helps. They appreciate it greatly. Amazon, smile.amazon.com. Choose Resurgence as your charity of choice, and they will benefit from all your daily purchases. Check your NOTAMs and fly safe.
Check your NOTAMs and fly safe. Craig Taylor's been checking his NOTAMs. Been flying legit. I'm super stoked.
Hey, I gotta say, after tonight's episode, you know how many all the viewers that have been recording with their GoPro 4 through 10, whatever, they probably just threw their hands up and said, "Forget it. Why even bother?"
Oh, dude, I'm serious.
Why bother? I got to spend another 10 grand just to, you know.
Yeah, I'm out. Like GoPro does not.
There's plenty you can do with the GoPro. No, there really is. It's just how you use it. It's just a tool, you know?
Yep. I've got some decent footage. Just Cascade.
Hey, Ryan, Resurgence PPG. He's got some good comments in here. He wanted to make sure. He wanted me to ask how your son is doing. It's because we care.
Yeah. He's in Ukraine, so that's on the border by Russia. So that's kind of a thing. But was just this morning got pulled out, so he's now on his way back to Chicago. That's going to be his new stomping grounds for the next year and a half.
At any point, did you try to influence him to go to Japan?
You don't get to choose. But,
okay. I was going to say because now's your chance to tell him I told you so.
Yeah, that would have been cool. But Ukraine, yeah. I mean, that's a cool place. His twin brother's up in Estonia, so
not right now, though, right?
No, his twin brother is still there, but in Estonia apparently is not a desirable country for Russia to take.
I meant Ukraine is not so much a cool place right now.
Yeah.
Oh, not right now. No, not a good place you want to be.
Not today.
Yeah. Not today. Hopefully things will simmer down.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be cool. They shake the bushes every once in a while just to see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go to the after show. If you want to jump on the after show, I do want to encourage you, if you want to keep the show going, support the show on Patreon, PayPal, send a little money. Appreciate that if you would do that. That's all I talk about is money. It's important because you're buying stuff for people, and you're literally paying for people to learn how to be better pilots. And many of times, we didn't talk about it tonight, but many of times, I would say like 90% of the time, we talk about site preservation. And so I want to encourage you, think before you just go and burn up a flying spot. Think about it. Don't just ruin it for the future. So we're going to go to the after show. If you want to put your email in the chat, we'll send you an invite if you're a super chatter, Patreon supporter, or a PayPal supporter, one of those. And we'd love to have you on the after show. And Ryan, I don't know if you could stick around for just a couple more minutes, just say what's up to them. And we'll see you in a bit. If I don't see you on the air, I'll see you in the air. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.
Don't burn any hay bales.
Yeah, no burning hay bales. We're not messing with the hay bales at Salton Sea Flying, guys. All right. We'll see you on the next one. Have a great night.